about the cerebral coordination system or whatever it is. Our main aim is to see what is the lesion, where is the lesion, what is the cause of the lesion. So these are the main things that you have to find out in a neurological case. So this is a main, for example, why this history is being taken. The apparently normal 3 days back, performing his daily routine activities, went to sleep at 3 p.m. This is the one, very important. See, he go to the bed by 3 p.m. Following this, attempted to get by 6 p.m. Knees buckled and he fell. The point is, it is not any exertion or any massive activity. He went to the bed and then he went to get up, land up in trouble. What could be the possible causes for this?
Sir, the problem could be thromboembolic or any vascular problems, sir. Because he is at rest for about 3 hours.
Yes.
So after a period of inactivity, so any active presentation is there, it could be a vascular component.
Yeah, it is a vascular component. Definitely, it is a vascular component. So that's the one possibility. Vascular. What type of vascular component it can be? Is it a hemorrhage? It is a thrombosis. It is an embolism.
Thrombosis, most probably,
High,
because
why can't it be a hemorrhage?
yeah, it can be hemorrhage, sir, but not embolism.
So, can be lab. What is the points weighting towards thrombosis here?
Sir,
Because yes, so no activity, no exertion. So possibility for an usually the patient with the hemorrhages usually with any activity increase the BP resulting in some sort of what you call the hemorrhage. So they will be having this loss of consciousness and activities going on, especially embolic under hemorrhage will be like that. But thrombosis is the one already a damaged vessel. This has happened during the sleep without any provocation. There is a possibility thromboembolism is a very high possibility. Not thrombosis is a very high possibility.
okay, sir.
So here is without any loss of consciousness, which means that what it is means that not a massive possibility. It is not a massive thrombi, or it can be a possibility for the TAA or a possibility for ongoing the infarct is going on. That's the indirect meaning behind the without any loss of consciousness. So following the fall, the patient noticed difficulty in using right arm and right leg. This is another clue. Must know he is not able to use the right arm and right leg. So which means what? The patient indirectly, when the patient is having hemiplegia and the mouth deviation to the left, now we are focusing towards where we are focusing. Are we focusing to the brain? Are we focusing to the spinal cord? Are we focusing to the neuromuscular junction? Are we focusing to the muscle? Where is the problem here now?
Cerebral, sir.
So it is probably we are dealing with the brain now, isn't it? We are dealing with the brain. So which part of the brain do you think?
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. Your voice is echoing. It is from two mics, sir.
Echo is coming, huh?
Yes, sir. Two mics are active, sir. In your level, sir.
Okay. Now?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. So the patient noticed difficult in right arm, and this is a possibility there now, because why you are not saying it is not the spinal cord? Why you are saying it is cerebrum?
Because I think
Why you
it
are not
is.
saying it's a neuromuscular junction? Why are not saying a muscle level? Muscle means the individual muscle will be affected.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So individual muscle will be affected. So group of muscles can be affected. But here, what happens is the group of muscles plus the upper limb and lower limb plus the deviation of the angle of mouth. There is a central nervous system. The cranial nerve is also affected.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it?
Yes,
So when
sir.
the cranial nerve is affected, when one group of right upper limb and lower limb affected, so what happens now? This is a possibility that the lesion is at the brain,
Cerebral.
isn't it? So at which part of the brain it could be?
cortex.
Yes, it is at the level of capsule. Yes, it is at the internal capsule. Isn't it? Why at the internal capsule? Because that is the
Massive.
place where it is like an CNS is like an electric wire, it is like electric system. So all the nerves that is supplying, all the things that is supplying to the right upper limb and lower limb and the cranial nerve, deviation of the angle of mouth is 7th cranial nerve, isn't it possibly? So
Yes,
all
sir.
these things are where it is being condensed at which level? At the possibility of internal capsule level, at which part? Right side or left side?
This is right side hemiparasis, so left side. Sir.
Left side, sir. So this is the way you must say. From your history, you are trying to point out that it is not a muscular disease, it is not a neuromuscular disease, it is unlikely to the spinal cord, it is a possibility for a central nervous system where upper part, this is probably at the internal capsular level, the lesion is there. This is the first our provisional diagnosis from this. So after the 30 minutes, you notice the inability to speak. That is because deviation of angle of mouth and the inability to speak will develop. And then patient was taken to a nearby private hospital from as referred to GS. Okay, next slide.
Right upper limb. Patient is able to lift his arm over his head. Patient is able to comb his hair, but patient has difficulty in holding a glass.
You go to the second slide, people.
I went, sir. It's not changing.
Yeah, but it is, yeah. Go ahead.
Patient is able to lift his arm over his head and comb his hair, but has difficulty in holding a glass or buttoning his shirt, mixing food and writing. Right lower limb, patient has difficulty standing up from sitting posture. Patient has buckling of knees. He needs a support to walk, and he finds it difficult to wear his right slipper.
Okay, here again another thing. Why you are asking all these things? Not able to lift his arm over his head.
So,
Able to comb his hair. Why you are asking all these things?
To note that the proximal.
Yes, excellent. Proximal muscle, distal muscles. So proximal muscle of lifting over the head, comb his hair, holding a glass. And then what about this buttoning a shirt and mixing food and holding glass? Which is the one? Proximal, this is a distal. So you are trying to examine both the proximal muscle and the distal muscle, isn't it? So
Yes,
tell me some cases where the upper limb proximal muscle is predominantly affected. Why we are asking all these things? Because you are asking these questions to find out whether the possibility for a distal muscle or prominently a distal muscle or prominently or a proximal muscle affected. So then you must understand certain diseases which affects the predominantly proximal muscles. Tell me some conditions where the proximal muscle is affected.
Low motor neuron.
Lower motor neuron lesions. What is a lower motor neuron lesions? You must understand. What is a lower? You must understand the difference between lower motor neuron and upper motor neuron. What is a lower motor neuron?
From the nucleus to individual muscle groups.
Yes, from the nucleus to the peripheral muscle, isn't it? From the nucleus to the peripheral muscle is affected. Okay. So, in case of an upper motor lesion, which group of muscles will be affected? In case of lower motor lesion, which group of muscles will be affected?
In upper motor neuron lesion, a group of muscle like proximal and distal will be affected. Sir. But whereas in lower motor neuron lesion, a particular muscle will be affected, like soleus
So
or
that is wasting of the affected muscle. Wasting of the affected muscle. Wasting of the paralysis suffered by the anterior horn sensor action. The fasciculations will be there. All these things will be there. But if you look at this proximal muscle, predominantly proximal muscle means the predominant proximal muscle is a primary muscle disease. Mostly it is a sign of primary muscle disease. Primary muscle disease. Proximal muscle weakness means predominantly a primary muscle disease. Of course, except certain conditions are there like inclusion body myositis and other things that you don't go into don't go so deeper into that. But other things you must understand. So if you look at the proximal muscles, what are the proximal muscles? You know here like which are the proximal muscles? Yeah. Then another one. Delta, yes, like that. So what are the muscles? What are the power supply to that deltoid other groups? No supply to the deltoid. Which one? Yeah.
Axillary.
Root now. T5. Isn't it?
Yes.
T5. C5, C6, like that. It is going to be in the proximal muscles of the upper limb. So
Yes.
any compressive lesions at the C5, C level, C6 levels of the spinal cord can do this. And anything that affects the anterior horn cells at the C5, C6 level. What are the anterior, how the anterior horn cells can be affected in the C5, C6 level? One is compression, and other how can other things cannot be affected? Like a
Infection.
syringomyelia. How the syringomyelia? It is a dilatation of the ventricles coming down and compressing the anterior health cells also at the C5, C6 levels can also produce a upper limb proximal muscle weakness. You must understand how it affects the proximal muscle alone. So then motor neuron disease. Motor neuron disease can affect both the proximal and the distal muscles. But you must understand one thing is that it is one of a compressive lesion at the C5, C6 level. Only if it is a proximal muscle is affected. C5, C6 lesion. Only if there is a syringomyelia, the syringe coming and compressing at the level of the C5 and C6. So that also can produce. And then motor neuron disease. The upper and the lower motor lesions, proximal and distal muscle also can be affected. 3. And predominantly the any primary muscle disease can affect the proximal muscle. Okay, this is the one. So this patient is having proximal muscle able to lift. The patient is able to lift his arm over his head. The patient is able to comb. This is on the right side, isn't it? Able to
Yes,
comb
sir.
is there. The patient has a difficulty in holding a glass. This is a distal muscle weakness. So tell me
Yes.
some conditions where the distal muscle will be affected in the upper limb. Distal muscles. The same conditions, whatever you talked about for the proximal muscle, you enumerate here now. So any compressive lesions at what level it will be?
Carpal tunnel syndrome.
At the level of affecting at the CIT1 level, isn't it? So upper limb is supplied by proximal muscle is supplied by C5 and C6 like that. Here which group will be? C8 and T10 will be affected, isn't it? Root nerve. And then syrinx affecting the C8 and T1 level. Motor neuron disease. And then what are the, you know about what is clumsy paralysis?
No, sir.
It is a lower brachial plexus, lower brachial plexus injury. Yeah, what is Erb's paralysis? Upper brachial plexus. That will produce proximal. So very, very simple now. You examine a patient. The patient is having a proximal muscle. How is proximal muscle you are examining? By asking to lift the hand. Asking to hold the hair like that. If he's not able to do this, do you think the patient is having a possibility of a proximal muscle weakness of the upper limb? Is it proximal muscle weakness? So if the proximal muscle is weakness, you must try to see what are the nerve roots that is supplying the proximal muscles of that hand. So if the proximal muscle, mostly the deltoid and other things are supplied by C5 and C6, and the syrinx affecting any compressive lesion at the time, or any syrinx affecting that particular root level, or any motor neuron disease, or any brachial plexus that is supplying the C5, C6, that is upper brachial plexus that is supplying the Erb's paralysis, or of all these things, motor neuron disease, of all other things, the proximal muscle is a disease of a primary muscle disease. So this is very important. Why you are looking for proximal muscle? This is the reason I am looking for. Now we are looking for distal muscle weakness. The patient is not having any proximal muscle weakness, but the patient is having only the distal muscle weakness. Yes, the proximal is having only the distal muscle weakness. Then you must look for what you look for. You look for the level of the C8 and T level. There is a compressive level, or syrinx level, or motor neuron disease, or lower brachial plexus, like a clumsy paralysis. This is the way you must understand. This is the way you must understand that why we are checking for an upper proximal muscle in the lower limb. Similarly, in the right lower limb, the patient has a difficulty standing up, buckling of knees, needs support to walk, finds difficult to wear his slipper, isn't it? These are the things that again you must think it. You could put it in the same way. Whatever I talked about the proximal muscle, like that same thing that you can apply for this one. But another important thing here is distal muscle weakness. It is a neuropathy. It's a primarily sign of peripheral neuropathy. Proximal muscle weakness is primarily a weakness of the proximal muscle disease. This you must understand in clear cut. Like the right lower limb or right left, this is there. Muscles in the lower limb, you can similarly you can cardiac lesions can be there, peripheral neuropathy can be there, like that you can be there. So this is the group which so now how is the pyramidal pattern of weakness will be there? This is we are talking about the proximal weakness and the distal weakness. How the pyramidal pattern will be there? how the pyramidal pattern of weakness will be there in a patient?
Spasticity, sir.
Yes.
Class like spasticity.
Yes, the patient here in proximal muscle lower motor, this is the pyramidal tract lesion is upper motor neuron lesion or lower motor neuron lesion?
Upper motor.
It is an upper motor neuron lesion. So upper motor neuron lesion, any muscle wasting will be there?
No, sir.
Yes, excellent.
Initially it will not be there, but due to in long
Yeah, in
cases.
due course, disuse atropine and other things are there. But here, most probably, so probably, most probably, this patient, the pyramidal tract lesion, in upper motor lesion, there won't be any wasting initially, so they will have rigidity or spasticity will be there, isn't it? There,
Yes,
in a lower motor lesion, like in proximal muscle weakness or something like that, predominantly proximal muscle, predominantly distal weakness, the patient will have a weakness, wasting,
yes.
and more than that, what will the patient be having? The plasticity will be there because there is full weakness is there, hypotonia, plasticity will be there. I mean, very flaccid it will be. But in a upper motor neuron lesion, the patient will not have any muscle wasting, the tone will be increased, and spasticity and rigidity will be there. You must understand this. This is the point for a pyramidal tract lesion. The patient will be spasticity and rigidity will be there. Okay. And
Okay.
what group of muscles will be affected? That is also important.
Okay.
So, in case of pyramidal tract lesion, in case of pyramidal tract lesion, the first important thing is the distal muscles. That is very important. Is the fine movements of the hand will be affected. Yearly distal weakness will be there. Is the predominant complaint in a pyramidal tract lesions. You understand now? So,
Okay.
what is the fine movement, distal movement of the hand you are having? Like
Holding.
holding, mixing, buttoning. That's why you are saying initially the patient is able to lift his arm over his head, able to comb hair, he is able to do that, but the distal weakness is there. You notice that patient has a difficulty in holding a glass, patient has a difficulty in buttoning shirt and mixing food. So the early sign, early one is early distal weakness involving the fine movements of the hand will be there. So what are the other muscles that will be affected in the pyramidal tract in the upper limb? So it will be, so just imagine a hemiplegia patient in your mind. How his hand will be, how his shoulder will be. Shoulder will be,
Flexion of
im-
the wrist joint
imagine
and
a,
extension.
yes, imagine a hemiplegic patient in your mind now. How his shoulder, how his position will be, how his upper limb will be. He'll be,
Adducted.
Flexed.
the hand will be adducted. Hand will be adducted and the hand will be adducted. How is this one will be? Elbow will be.
Flexed. So
It
flexion.
will be flexed. So when that is important, you must understand this. It is mainly affect the anti-gravity muscles, that is flexor groups of the upper limb. Flexor groups of the upper limb, and then the extensor group of the lower limb. You must understand this. Flexor groups of the upper limb and extensor groups of the lower limb affected. Now imagine now, you said the patient, the shoulder will be adducted, isn't it? If the shoulder is adducted, which means that what? That the adductor shoulder, the adductor muscles of the shoulder are very, very active. Which muscle is not active? Which muscle is there? The abductor is affected. Abductor is affected, so it becomes very adducted. Shoulder abductor is affected, so the shoulder becomes very adducted now. Imagine now anti-gravity muscles. Flexor groups. What are the flexor groups? When the flexor groups are affected, the extensor group become very, very strong. So that is the one importantly affected. The spasticity affecting mainly the flexor groups. So what happens now? The flexor groups become very spastic and he holds the limbs like that. That's very important. So anti-gravity muscles affecting mainly the anti-gravity muscles, the flexor groups of the upper limb and the extensor group of the lower limb. So because it affects the extensor group of the upper lower limb, the leg become very stiff, the hand become flexed in its character. That's very, very important. Then hip flexor. Imagine now what are other muscles that is affected, how his lower limb will be, it will be very stiff, isn't it? He try to drag his legs like that. So when the flexor of the hip is affected, which group of the muscle will be overactive now? The extensor of the hip will be overactive. So when the extension of the hip is overactive, he cannot flex the hip. So what happens now? We make it a very straight leg, isn't it? That's why they try to drag the leg like that. So make it drag the leg like that. And then another important group that is affected is the foot dorsiflexors. Imagine what is the dorsiflexor action? It has to lift the leg like that. But instead of the foot dorsiflexion cannot be done. So what happens is drops like that. So they drag the foot along the floor. Now you can imagine now a hemiplegic patient walking in you. Now you can easily understand now what are the groups of muscles that are affected, because you now imagine his shoulder is adducted, which means that the abductor muscles are weakening of abductor muscle are there, and the flexor muscles of the upper limb become very spastic, and then hip flexor will be affected. So hip extensor comes into force, and the dorsiflexion of the foot is affected. So what happens is that you're not able to dorsiflex the foot, so that the foot tend to drag down the floors. These are the four things. You just imagine a hemiplegic patient how they are walking. So these are the things that the pyramidal tract lesion is going to do. So what about the lower limb now?
Both proximal and
Both proximal and distal muscle affected. Patient needs walk support, but difficult to wear his right shoulder. That is proximal muscle, distal muscles affected. Okay, next slide.
Patient is able to lift his head off the pillow and has no problem from
You
side to
change the slide. You change the slide now first. Yes.
Patient is able to
Able
lift
to-
his head off the patient is
Ah.
able to lift his head off the pillow and has no problem turning from side to side. Patient feels the limb to be loose and has dragging of legs without any loss of bulk. Patient is able to take foot to mouth and does not have any associated involuntary movements. Patient is unable to speak, however, he is able to understand the words spoken by his wife and can identify objects.
Okay, here you said one thing. Patient is able to lift his head off the pillow and has no problem turning from side to side. So this indirectly says that the other like
muscles.
diaphragmatic actions, yes, that is not affected. But here the patient feels the limb to be loose and dragging of the legs without any loss of bulk. What it means? Again, the dorsiflexion of the foot is affected, isn't it? So
Yes.
I said four groups will be affected. One is the abductors of the shoulder. The other is hip flexors. The third one is of the
Flexor
foot
of the-
dorsiflexor and the muscles of the hand grip. Muscles of the hand grip. Okay, these are the four groups usually affected. So imagine now, it's because the dorsiflexion is affected, his dragging of the legs is there. The dragging of the legs is there. Okay, right. The patient is able to take the foot to the mouth and does not have any associated involuntary movements. Okay, what it means? Associated involuntary movement means able to. It's okay. Next slide. Okay.
Patient is able to perceive smell. Patient is able to see objects and appreciate color with no history of double vision or drooping of eyelids. Patient has
Why you
no
are asking all these things?
so any other cranial nerve is involved.
Okay. So before you are going to cranial nerve system, now you are talking about the motor nerve system very clearly. The motor nerve system involves which group? Proximal muscle and the distal muscle both are affected. So you must now understand what are the diseases that affects the proximal and the distal muscles. It affects both the proximal and distal muscle, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So what are the diseases that affect the proximal and distal muscles? This is this is a possibility of okay. We didn't go to the examination. What are the diseases that can affect the proximal and distal muscles of the upper limb?
Any myopathies?
Any myopathies is mostly what I already told you. No, it is a disease of proximal muscle.
Myasthenia
Neuropathy is mostly the disease of this one. So tell me some conditions. I explain in both the proximal muscle and distal muscle. I have enumerated two conditions. What are the conditions?
Myasthenia gravis, sir.
Motor
Syringomyelia
neuron
and
Yes, motor neuron
syringomyelia.
disease. Another one is syringomyelia.
Syringomyelia.
Excellent. Motor neuron disease. Yes, you must say very clearly. You can say this. It's a lower motor neuron lesions. The proximal muscle and distal muscle is motor neuron disease, and syringomyelia can be easily affected. Oh, 1 minute. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Next slide. Yes.
Patient has no difficulty in chewing. Patient is able to close eyes fully and reports no dryness of eyes. Patient has deviation of mouth to left with the drooling of saliva. The patient is not hard of hearing and has no tinnitus or whatever.
So here, previous slide. That's the important slide. Now, first cranial nerve, second cranial nerve, There's no problem in chewing also, but able to close fully and reports no dryness of face. Very good. But the fifth point is patient has a deviation of mouth to the left with the drooling of saliva, isn't it? So
Yes,
what
sir.
it means?
Facial nerve lesion is upper
Why do you
motor.
want to check the cranial nerves in the central nervous system?
Association
So if its cranial nerve is affected, where is the lesion?
below the nucleus, sir.
Brainstem.
Below the
Nucleus.
not brain, so no need. So in the brain, very
Okay.
simple. In the brain. So everything comes to the anterior, isn't it? Comes to the spinal cord. From there, the lower motor neuron starts, isn't it? For a
Yes.
cranial nerve system, for a cranial nerve system, where is it? Everything is below the nucleus is intranuclear, above the nucleus is supranuclear. It's LM and EM and further. For any motor nerve system, up to the anterior horn cell, below the anterior horn cell. Above the anterior horn cell, you put it as an upper motor neuron. Below the anterior cells, you want to put it as a lower motor neuron, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So, like that, for a motor nerve system, you put the anterior horn cells. For them, it is the nucleus of the cranial nerve. That is the upper motor neuron or supranuclear or infranuclear, you are going to say. So, if a patient you are trying to see it, now I already told you where is a lesion. Now you find out there is a problem with the power of the patient and problem with this muscle weakness like upper motor, both proximal and distal muscle is affected. And then now you want to find it out whether there is a possibility for involvement of the brain is also. So the involvement of the cranial nerves is not there. Then probably what will you do now? Probably you will try to fix the problem. Where you fix the problem now? You try to fix the problem at the spinal cord level also. So now when the cranial nerve is affected, now you want to fix the problem where? Little bit above, where the cranial nerves are involved, where the cranial nerves are located. That's the reason why you are looking for the any cranial nerve dysfunction is there in a CNS system. So now the patient has a deviation of mouth to the left with the drooling of saliva. It indirectly says what the seventh cranial nerve is probably affected. So deviation of angle of mouth. So what are the this we are talking about the seventh nerve, but you have given only one thing about the seventh nerve. You didn't ask about other symptoms of the seventh nerve. What are the seventh nerve symptoms? How do you check the seventh nerve?
Frontalis muscles, sir. Forehead wrinkles.
Ah,
Then eyelid closure for orbicularis
okay.
ocularis. Then nasolabial fold, sir.
So first, see, for you as undergraduate level, you must clearly know what is a seventh cranial nerve. Very, very important. Seventh cranial nerve, it can come as a short case also. It can come as a long case also. So you must know what's the Bell's phenomena. Very commonly we see in the practice also Bell's phenomena. So you must understand, you must clearly read about the seventh nerve. Very, very important. Okay. So how do you assess the central nerve, I mean, seventh nerve, Bell's facial nerve? You must say three parts. One is it has a motor function. It has a
Sensory
secretory function, isn't it? It has a secretory function. So
Yes.
what are the motor functions that you have? It does.
Buccinator
What are the
muscle.
muscles? What are the muscles it supplied?
Frontalis, orbicularis oculi, orbicularis oris, buccinator,
Okay.
and platysma.
Okay. Yes. Hello. சொல்லுங்க, சொல்லுங்க. ஸ்கேன் பண்ண சொல்லியிருக்கேன். ஸ்கேன் பண்ணி பார்த்து ரைட் தண்ணி இருக்குன்னா ஆல்ரெடி போடணுமான்னு பார்க்க லாசிக் கொடுக்கணும். ரைட் இன்ஜெக்ஷன் அதுக்கு தான் அவங்க சொல்லியிருக்கிறேன். எனக்கு ஆல்ரெடி 100 ml தான் போயிருக்காங்க வீட்டில் அதிகப்படுத்தணும். அதுதான் கொஞ்சம் மாத்திரை கொடுக்க சொல்லியிருக்கிறேன். 3 hours எப்படி யூரின் வருதுன்னு பார்க்கலாம். இன்ஜெக்ஷன் மாதிரி பண்ணிக்கலாம். நான் ஒரு கிளாஸ் அதான் பார்த்துக்கிறேன். கிளாஸில் இருக்கேன். கிளாஸ் முடிச்சுட்டு ஒரு 6 மணி நேரத்தில் பார்க்கலாம். So இப்போ வந்து நம்ம செவன்த் நவ் பார்க்கறோம் இல்லையா? So you said about it. So what are the how you examine the seventh nerve now? One is what is rise the eyebrow, and then come from the above downward. Eyebrow rise, then
Lacrimation.
lacrimation. That is a secretory function. First you look for the motor function now.
Okay, sir. Then
Wrinkling
nasolabial.
of forehead. So ask him to wrinkle the forehead, isn't it? Wrinkle the forehead, and then what else?
Close the eye with resistance.
Tightly close the eyes. Then what to do?
Then try to open the closed eye.
Yeah, try that closely tight. I mean, close the eyes tightly as possible. We try to open it. We can know the power of the. We can know the weakness of the orbicular sockle. Then what else?
And blowing up cheeks, sir.
Yeah. So ask them to show the teeth. Any angle deviation you can find it out. That's what you noticed it. Deviation of the mouth to the left. And then
And then platysma contraction
how do you check that one?
to clench the teeth. Asking to
Okay, clench the teeth and then
and then see for the muscle.
yes. Yes, okay. Purse the lip, whistling also you can do. Pursing of the lip you can do.
Yes.
Okay, these are the motor. So ask them to whistle, ask them to purse, ask them to look up, ask them to wrinkle the forehead, ask them to close the eye tightly, ask them to bite the teeth, show the teeth, angle of the mouth. All these things you can find it out from the motor function. What are the sensory functions of the seventh now?
A sensory function anterior 2/3 of the tongue
Yes.
is supplied by
So-
paratympanium.
So what will you do now? So,
Taste buds. To ask him to taste.
டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணிக்கலாமா பேசிட்டு வரலாமா டிஸ்கஸ் பண்ணுங்க பேசுகிறேன் தேங்க்யூ கொடுங்க சிஸ்டர் கொடுத்துட்டு வாங்க பரவாயில்ல கொடுங்க 2 days எக்ஸ்ட்ரா கொடுங்க அப்படின்னா டேப்டாக கொடுங்க கொடுக்கலாம் சார் நான் சொல்கிறேன் சார் நீ ரெடி பண்ணுங்க கிளாஸ்ல சொல்கிறேன் So what are the functions? Sorry, there's an interruption there. Okay. What is the secretory function? One is lacrimation, isn't it? One is lacrimation, another is taste, isn't it? How do you check the lacrimation test?
Schimmer's test.
One is taste and then lacrimation. Schimmer's test you can do, isn't it? Schimmer's test you can do. But any other reflexes you can find it out?
I don't know, sir.
That is called lacrimal reflex. That also you can find it out. So for seventh now you must read very thoroughly, right?
Okay, sir.
So that's the one they can ask you all these things and other things. What are the reflexes that you can do in a seventh now?
Stapedial reflex. Stapedial reflex.
One is corneal reflex. The other one is
Stapedial.
stapedial reflex.
Stapedial reflex.
So corneal reflex is afferent is what?
Fifth nerve, sir. Trigeminal.
Yes, deferent is seventh nerve. Afferent is one that is carrying it. Deferent is that is one bringing it to the action, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
because it is a sensor, you are touching the cornea. It's a sensor. This one, there's a trigeminal nerve. So efferent is you are closing the eyes. That is then motor function from the facial nerve.
Facial.
Okay, that is what is corneal reflex. Other is stapedial reflex. Reflex is stapedial is also the same way, right? Here is a vestibulocochlear nerve and the efferent is a facial nerve. So that is another one that you must remember. So there is a 3 reflexes that is involved. One is corneal reflex, one is stapedial reflex, another one is what? Another one is nasal reflex. Right. So seventh nerve is involved. So okay, next slide. Okay, go ahead. So now you check the seventh now. All other cranial nerves is normal, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So patient does not report falling towards while washing the face. Okay, wash basin sign. That is a sign of which column?
Sensory ataxia.
Sensory ataxia of what? It's a posterior
Basal
column? Not basal
dorsal.
ganglia. It's a posterior column.
Dorsal.
Right, next one. Okay, next one.
Patient has no giddiness, palpitations, or excessive sweating, bowel and bladder incontinence.
Why do you
Patient-
ask this?
For
Why do you ask this?
autonomic.
Yes, do you want to rule the autonomic dysfunction, right? Okay, then sometimes autonomic neuropathy is the one entity is there. The patient
Yes.
is having all these things problems. That's why you are asking for this one, right? Okay.
No history of breathlessness, chest pain, or ankle edema. No history of abdominal pain, distension, jaundice. No history of fever.
Why do you ask
projectile
all these things? Why do you ask all these things? Breathlessness, chest pain, ankle edema.
Sir, he is after stroke patient, so any aspiration or that
அதுக்கேன் chest pain, ankle edema எல்லாம் வருது? No, it's no history of breathlessness, chest pain. Not after the injury. You are asking the history Now you are now only you are getting the patient is having some problem. Now you are asking all these things. Why after the stroke immediately aspiration, the patient will not only breathlessness will be there. Why angle edema should be there? So this is breathlessness, chest pain, angle edema. You are trying to see any cardiovascular system is involved. So possibility for any palpitations and other things, any atrial fibrillation that is producing any thrombus also possibility. Any
Yes,
previous
sir.
history of heart disease also. That's why you are asking all this history. Breathlessness, chest pain, or angle edema. Abdomen pain, distension, and jaundice because it can produce an hepatic encephalopathy and the features of that can produce. And then history of fever, projectile vomiting, headache, any meningoencephalitis involved. So that's why you're asking this question. This is to know what is the cause. What is the
Okay, sir.
cause for the present problem? That's why you are asking all these things. No history of head or spinal trauma, any traumatic injury to the brain, any traumatic injury to the spine. So I already told you where is the lesion, what is the lesion, what is the cause for the lesion. Seriya? Now you are
Okay,
trying to
sir.
find out the cause for the lesion. You know where is the lesion now, and probably what is the lesion. The probably this case of what is the lesion is the thrombosis. Where is the
Yes, sir.
lesion? Probably at the level of the internal capsule. That's because why you are saying internal capsule, both the upper limb and lower limb is affected, dense hemiplegia. Along with it, what happened? There is a cranial nerve is involved. So in the brain it is happening. In the brain where these three things are moving closer, only at the level of the internal capsule they are moving very closer. Or yeah, the pyramidal tract. Probably we are dealing with the pyramidal tract, and that's why we are trying to put it across in the brain. Okay, next slide.
Past history, no history of similar
Yes.
complaints in the past or of transient ischemic attack or reversible ischemic neurological
What is
deficit.
transient ischemic attack?
Transient ischemic attack is a focalized lesion where within 24 hours the symptoms will be residing.
The neurological deficit recovering in 24 hours. அப்படி சொல்லணும். சரியா?
Ah, okay, sir.
Any neurological deficit is recovering. Even it can be hemiplegia கூட இருக்க மாதிரி இருக்கலாம். So hemiparasis கூட இருக்கலாம். That is recovering. That's why. Okay. Then
Known case of type 2 diabetes mellitus for 10 years on regular medications. Known case of systemic hypertension and dyslipidemia for 5 years and on regular medication. No history of valvular heart disease or epilepsy or tuberculosis, and no history of dog bite.
okay, right. So tuberculosis also must take into consideration because why tuberculosis? Because it can produce tuberculous vasculitis, tuberculoma, all these things can suddenly do a problem. Vasculitis, all these things. That's a tuberculosis also should be asked very clearly. Epilepsy, any post-epileptic, this one we have to look for it. And the valvular heart disease because it can produce an atrial fibrillation, it can have an infective endocarditis, septic emboli. So that's why you are asking all these things to rule out the etiology of the disease. Right? Okay. No history of dog bite. Why dog bite is important?
Rabies, any rabies or flaccid paralysis.
It can be demyelination. Post one is that yes, that it can produce one thing, that is it can produce at encephalopathy and other things. Post is in the past history as a medical history, you must ask for dog bite vaccination also. You must ask any history of vaccination also. Any most of the vaccinations can produce a demyelinating syndrome. So the vaccine injection of vaccine also should, history of injection of vaccine also should be short. Okay, next slide.
Personal history, mixed diet
Yeah.
consumer, normal sleep pattern and bowel and bladder functions, no history of alcohol consumption, history of smoking, present 2 packs of cigarettes per day for 15 years, stopped 3 years ago, 30 pack years. Patient denies any high risk metrics.
So this is a possibility for a smoker. Isn't it? A smoker.
Yes.
So smoker, what is the possibilities now? It's the possibility of thromboembolism. Thrombosis. Yeah.
Yes.
Ulcerated thrombosis in the vessels. So this is the possibly you are moving more in favor of what? Thrombotic manifestation, not thrombosis. Yeah, thrombotic. Right. Okay.
Family history, none of the family members are suffered from similar complaints. Patient father has type 2 diabetes mellitus for 15 years on insulin and oral hypoglycemic agents. No family history of hypertension, migraine, CAD or epilepsy.
Okay.
Drug
Diabetic
history-
manifestation. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is it diabetic, isn't it? So
Yes,
diabetic also very important. So diabetic, how long the diabetic is there? So prolonged diabetic can produce severe atherosclerosis, arteriosclerosis can develop. So they can go for a thrombosis very easily. They can go for kidney disease very easily. So they can have hypertension indirectly. So that can result in all this problem. That's the history of diabetic. Sometimes they can go for hypoglycemia. Hypoglycemia sometimes can mimic like an the TIA or mimic like an hemiplegic stroke also it can mimic. So all these things, we are diabetic in a neurological disease, very, very important. Hyperglycemia can produce a focal seizures. So hypoglycemia can produce unconscious coma, hypoglycemic coma. Sometimes TA-like symptoms can develop. So diabetic is very important, right? Okay, next one.
Drug history.
Yes.
Metformin, nimiperid, and amlodipine and atorvastatin is taken regularly.
But you did say that the patient is having hypertension, and the patient is taking hypertension medication also.
Yes, sir. Amlodipine.
You didn't mention hypertension in the past history.
I said, sir. Known case of systemic hypertension and dyslipidemia.
Okay, right. Very good, very good. Okay. I didn't notice. Okay. So this is a combination of hypertension, diabetic, and dyslipidemia.
Yes,
If the
sir.
hypertension is also there, you must think it of why hypertension, because think it of possibility for a hemorrhage also should be taken into consideration. Uncontrolled hypertension sometimes can produce a severe ICH, intracerebral hemorrhage can develop. So
Yes,
that history is also very important. Must have it in your mind also. Right. Okay.
So summary, Mr. Mohan, a 50-year-old right-handed male, an ex-smoker and known case of diabetes mellitus, hypertension and dyslipidemia, presented with difficulty in using right upper and lower limbs with deviation of angle of mouth to the left and inability to speak since 3 days with no family history of stroke. So probably an acute ischemic stroke of thrombotic etiology involving left middle cerebral artery.
Okay. Why is this an acute, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Acute etiology. So when you say subacute, when you say chronic, must see all these things also. Okay. So acute, subacute, chronic also you must look into. Okay. Next one. So this is an acute one. Probably an acute ischemic stroke of thrombotic etiology involving the left middle cerebral artery. Good. Plus, it's a known diabetic hypertension. That's also you must mention here. A case of probably summary, probably a case of diabetic and hypertension dyslipidemia presented with an acute ischemic stroke of thrombotic etiology involving the left middle cerebral artery because his right upper limb and lower limb is affected and the deviation of the angles of the left side is there. Okay, next slide.
General examination. Patient is conscious, alert, oriented to time, place, and person. He is comfortable at rest and obeys commands. Patient is moderately built and nourished with a BMI of 23.2 kg per meter square. Patient has no pallor, icterus, cyanosis, clubbing, pedal edema, significant generalized lymphadenopathy. Patient has no neurocutaneous markers. Patient has no tendon xanthomata or xanthelasma. Patient has no markers of.
What are the neurocutaneous markers?
Neurocutaneous markers are neurofibromatosis.
Then
Port wine stains, sir.
Then
Cafe owlette spots.
yeah, coffee pots, apron. Neurofibromatosis, coffee, port and chin, apron.
Lish
What is
nodules.
epilola? What is
Adenoma
epilola?
sebaceum.
Adenoma sebaceum. What are the contents in there? How will you diagnose adenoma sebaceum? Your markers.
Viola,
Sangren's
sir.
patch.
Low IQ.
That's okay. That is the abbreviation of that. What are the skin manifestations you notice there?
Last leaf macule, Sjogren patch.
Yeah,
Adenoma
Sangren's patch.
sebaceum.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Right. Okay. So you must know these are standard questions. Neurocutaneous markers. They are standard questions. You must read all those things. Right. Okay. Next note tendon xanthoma, xanthelisma for dyslipidemia. Right. Okay. Okay. Next slide.
Vitals. Pulse rate 78 per minute with regular rhythm, normal volume and character. Vessel wall thickening felt. No radial or radiofemoral delay felt in all peripheral pulses. BP 148 by 82 mmHg in left arm, sitting posture. And respiratory rate 20 beats per minute, regular abdominothoracic. Temperature 98.5 degree Fahrenheit, afebrile.
Okay. So here very important two things that you are remembering. One is BP is normal. BP is normal. So BP is not very high BP despite this one. So probably that's an ICH, possibility of ICH is a little bit we may not be there. The BP, very high BP presenting to you with some sort of an weakness, you can think it of a possibility of hemorrhage or something else. So if the BP is not high, then possibility of hemorrhage is little bit lower. And then respiratory rate 20, it is not regular also, abdominothoracic. So when the brainstem is affected, you have a different types of respiratory patterns. What are the different types of respiratory patterns in a central nervous system? What are the types of breathing in central nervous system?
So chain stokes breathing, Bytot's breathing,
Chain stokes
apneustic
breathing,
breathing, apneustic breathing,
then what else? What
Kussmaul's
are other type of
breathing,
breathing? Huh?
Kussmaul
Kussmaul
breathing,
breathing. Kussmaul breathing. Okay. Then astatic breathing. Okay. Then atoxic breathing. Clear? Huh?
yes sir, yes sir.
Yes. So there is a 5 types of breathing are there. All these things must read. Huh? Types of
Okay,
breathing
sir.
in a respiratory system you must read. Okay. Then
Central nervous system examination. Higher mental functions, conscious, alert, cooperative, oriented to time, place, and person. Right-handed, so
okay.
immediate
Hmm.
recent remote memory is intact. Speech,
Ah.
spontaneous speech absent, but reading comprehension, writing is preserved. The calculation is normal.
Okay. Speech spontaneous speech is absent. Reading comprehension, writing preserved. Okay. See what it means now. This means that the motors is that is the frontal areas which part of the speech is affected. Broca's or
Motor, Broca's
the
area
Broca's.
44.
Broca's is affected. Okay, right. Calculation normal. Then
Cranial
next slide.
nerves examination.
Okay.
Uh, cranial nerve 1, olfactory nerve is normal, and optic
Okay.
nerve, cranial nerve 2, optic nerve, visual acuity is 6/12 on right and left, visual field is normal,
Okay.
color vision is normal, pupil is 4 mm on round, cranial nerve 2 and 3 for reflexes, direct left reflex, consensual right reflex, and accommodation reflex is present on both sides.
Okay.
Ptosis is not seen
Okay.
on both. 3,
Right.
4, 6 for extraocular movements are full.
Mm.
The trigeminal nerve, fifth nerve, motor component, the clenching of teeth, moving jaw from side to side, temporal fossa wasting is present.
Okay.
Sensory over ophthalmic maxillary and
Temporal
mandibular.
base thing you must make it down.
Sorry, absent, sir.
Clenching of teeth, moving your jaw from side to side present. Temporal fossa wasting that is brought down. Yes, very good. Okay.
Absent. Sensory over ophthalmic maxillary mandibular radius is present. Reflexes, jaws or
Okay.
corneal reflex, conjunctival reflex is present.
Right. Okay.
Seventh nerve, facial nerve, motor component, wrinkling of forehead, closing of eyelids, nasolabial folds are present on both sides. But angle of mouth, while showing teeth, angle of mouth is
Why
deviated
it
to
is
left
deviation of angle of mouth to the left? Why it is deviated to the left when the problem is on the right side?
because it's a pyramidal tract relation, sir. So contralateral side, upper motor is affected, sir.
So overactivity
So
of the opposite side muscles.
yes, which cranial, which seventh, which cranial, right side cranial is affected?
Right is affected.
Which cranial, right side or left side?
Right is affected.
Right is affected or left is affected?
So left upper motor.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So that you must understand because that is going up. Here it is the pyramidal tract is decussated and going. You understand now?
Okay, sir.
The pyramidal
Okay,
tract
sir.
right side decussates and go. That it goes up. That's why the deviation of the angle to the left side is there. So what is the deviation of angle of mouth to the left now? Which part of the face is affected?
Lower part.
Right
Right side is affected or left side affected? Right side of the face is affected. Right side is affected. Understand now? Right side deviation of to left line or no? Right side is affected. This is what type of hemiplegia it is comes now? What type of hemiplegia? It is crossed hemiplegia or ipsilateral hemiplegia? What hemiplegia it is?
Left side is it.
What is crossed hemiplegia? Crossed hemiplegia என்னப்பா? ஆப்போசிட்ல cranial nerves ஆப்போசிட்ல இருக்கும் இது இந்த பக்கம் இருக்கும் இல்லையா அப்படி இருந்தா it is crossed hemiplegia அர்த்தம் like brainstem lesions you can have a crossed hemiplegia இப்போ புரியுதுங்களா brainstem lesions can produce like நிறைய இருக்குல்ல syndromes இருக்கு இல்லையா so Weber syndrome மாதிரி எல்லாம் crossed hemiplegias பட் இது வந்து என்ன இது ipsilateral hemiplegia that's a deviation to the left okay சரி blowing of cheeks absent and then platysma contraction absent and present this right to the okay right
sensory function is
even இந்த
normal.
blowing of cheek பார்க்கும்போது கூட எப்படி செக் பண்ணணும்னா ஓபன் பண்ணி ப்ளோ பண்ணிட்டு you must try to chuck that blowing. So the weakness you can notice on the right side, not on the left side. You put it as an blowing of cheeks, not possible, but still you can blow, but the activity from the right side will be absent. When you try to blow, you try to squeeze the blowing. So you can notice that the left side will be stronger, right side will be not be stronger. That way you can check it out there. Where the side of lesion is also, you can check it out. Right. Okay. Then,
So auto sensory function is present, sir, on anterior to
okay.
third. Then autonomic
Okay.
lacrimation is also present. Reflexes, as told earlier, corneal conjunctival reflex is present on both sides.
Okay.
Renal 8, Rennie's test, Weber test, ABC, connection test is performed and normal on both sides.
So where do you expect the sensory sensation to be absent now? You said all the things are absent. You said Kimmer test is okay. Now then the test sensation is present. Everything conjunctival corneal is present. Okay.
Yes,
Suppose if they are absent, where is the lesion?
Thalamus, sir. Upper ear lobe.
Well below, well below. Yes, come. Sorry.
Pons.
Okay. Solomon. Not thalamus. It's not thalamus. It's lower cranial. Yeah, below the level. Solid tract nucleus கீழ வந்துரும். Facial nucleus வந்து கீழ வந்து it is at the lower cranial nerves will be affected. The Bell's palsy இதெல்லாம் வரும்போது அவங்களுக்கு வர ஆரம்பிக்கும் இல்லையா? So that's where you must understand. So it's not this one, right? Okay.
9th and 10th, no? Taste over posterior 1/3 of the tongue is present. Palatal reflex,
Okay.
pharyngeal reflex is present. Spinal accessory nerve, shrugging of shoulders, ability to turn head from left to right is present on both sides. Hypoglossal nerve, on inspection of
Okay,
tongue
that's
within
good. Yeah, all the negative points you just go away. Next one.
motor system.
That's very important. They will ask you where you examine this one. 10 centimeters upper limb of the alveolar process, 10 centimeter below the alveolar, here 10 centimeter and 10 centimeters. Okay, that you understand now. Right side and left side notice. What is the inference from there?
Bulk is not,
Right.
muscle bulk is not affected.
Not affected. Okay, right. Good.
Is
Why it's not
right-handed
affected? Because
person.
it is acute. It is an acute condition. It is not affected. But if it's a cranial nerves, lower motor neuron lesion, what will be there?
Muscle wasting will be there. And
Muscle
the
wasting will be there.
flaccidity will be there.
Flabby will be there. So all these things will be there. That's one important clue. Okay. Next, tone. What is a tone?
Muscle tone. Like we have to do the gamma motor, gamma neurons. Is basically
What is
testing
tone?
for
Tell me what is tone?
It's sustained contraction and resting states.
No, it is sustained contraction is clonus.
Contraction and
This is
resting. Rest, sir.
That's it. The degree of tension present in the muscle at rest. So degree of tension present in a muscle at rest. It's a tension at rest. So yeah, that's very important. Muscle tension at rest. That is called tone. Okay. Here what happened? Hypotonia. What hypotonia is there? What do you mean by hypotonia? Is it a human lesion or element lesion?
it is human lesion, sir. So we have to get hypertonia, but in this case it is hypotonia. So I think of spinal shock.
Early stages shock can be there, spinal shock can be there. Okay, that's a very important one. Okay, sometimes you can have this.
Yes,
So what are the cause of hypotonia?
sir.
What are the cause of hypotonia?
Element lesion, sir.
Important cause of hypotonia. So one is lower motor neuron lesions. So once you think of lower motor neuron lesion, you must be able to go close. Where are the lower motor neuron starts level? And the reflex and the anterior onset reflex, the poliomyelitis, polyneuritis, peripheral neuropathies, Leah, sensory side Davis starts, and then cerebellar lesions, and then spinal shock of upper motor neuron lesion. Any myopathies you can have it. Sometimes you can for example, deep sleeps, sedations, poisonings like highly sedated patients, sedated poisonings, you can have. So all these things you can have. So when they are asking for something like what is an hypotonia, you just think it of a lower motor lesions. What are the structures that is involved from the muscle to the reflex? So muscle, what is the muscle? You can have any muscle myopathies. So you are tapping from that side. Any sensory sensation should go, afferent should go. What are the sensations that can be affected? Debis dorsalis, apis dorsal, costinomatous. So what are the motor neuron side of the reflex arc? This one coming down anterior cells. So like a poliomyelitis, some neuropathies, all these things you can have. So that's the way you can have think it out. So whenever you are asked a question, you go to the basics of that question and then answer from the particular lot of points come there. Don't muck it out. Don't just enumerate the points. That's why you must learn it. Okay, right. Here it is an hypotonia. So if you look at the causes, one of the causes is the state of spinal shock in upper motor neuron lesion. So this is the state of spinal shock, right? Okay, next one.
So the power, sir, muscle power.
Okay.
Shoulder, flexion, abduction.
So they will ask power. They will ask what is the power. They will ask this. Another commonest question they will ask. Grade the power.
Okay, sir.
So commonest one they will ask grade the power. Like grade 1. Can you grade the power?
Yes, sir. It is by modified Medical Research Council grading.
Very good.
It has totally 6 scores, like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
0 is for complete paralysis, like hemiplegia, and
Okay.
1 is for flickering of muscle.
Yeah, 2.
2 is active movement, but with gravity eliminated. And
Not
3 is
active movement, they are able to move. That is gravity eliminated movement. That's all. So, for example, ask them to move their leg in the bed itself. They can do that. That's a gravity elimination. That's a gravity is eliminated, isn't it? You are lying on that. Then 4, the grade 3.
Grade 3, they
them
can
to
move
lift.
against the gravity, but not against the resistance.
அதெல்லாம் சொல்ல வேண்டாம். ஏன் குழப்பிக்கிற? Against the gravity அவ்வளவுதான். They are able to move against the gravity. So 4.
4 is
with
against
resistance.
gravity and resistance.
Yeah, gravity. That is against resistance. அவ்வளவுதான் சொல்லிடுங்க. அது போதும் உங்களுக்கு. Against gravity and resistance. Okay, 9. 5.
5 is active movement.
5 is normal. Excellent. So this one usually they will ask what are the powers that you are going to check. That also you must clinically also it's very, very important. Okay. Here you did everything. So what is the affected groups in shoulder? We already discussed.
Yes, sir.
So abduction, adduction. 3. Internal rotation, external. Which one is affected in the shoulder usually in hemiplegia?
Abduction.
Abduction. Right. Okay. So that's why it's adducted. Elbow, extension is affected. So flexor become overactive. That's why they flex their hands like that. Then wrist. So what the wrist they do? They tend to drop it, isn't it? Flexion, extension, abduction, pronation, 2, 3. Right. Okay. Fingers. Okay. So actually, if you have written all these things. So how do you do all these tests in the book? So practically you must do yourself and see. Practically நீங்களே ஒரு finger ஒரு இது என்னென்ன மசில் lumbricals எப்படி வேலை செய்யுது, intraosseous எப்படி வேலை செய்யுதுங்கிறது நீங்களே வந்து you must check it yourself and then see. Right. Okay. Then lower limbs.
Lower limbs. Hip, knee and ankle loose.
Okay. So again it is affected. It's on the right side is affected. Okay. It's a hemiparesis, isn't it? It's a hemiparesis.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Next one.
So reflexes, we have superficial and deep reflex.
Okay.
So in this also
very important reflexes in the superficial reflex. What is a very important reflex?
Plantar.
What is plantar? Then what are the other reflexes?
Abdominal reflex.
Abdominal reflex, and then for male it is cremasteric reflex is very important.
Okay.
So abdominal. So one is a plantar. You say it's a mute. So that is okay. Mute is okay, right? So what is the one is another important thing that will ask you in an examination is about the plantar reflexes, isn't it?
Yes,
plantar
sir.
reflexes. So what is the minimal plantar response? What is the equivocal? Yours is mute. This is what is the equivocal Babinski reflex? What is the normal plantar reflex? Just tell me what is the normal plantar reflex?
Plantar flexion should be the response.
plantar flexion. When there is a positive response, how will it will be?
Dorsiflexion or plantar extension, which is Babinski's positive.
Dorsiflexion of which one? Dorsiflexion of great
Dorsiflexion
toe.
of great toe and fanning out of other toes.
Other toes. Okay. Right. Very good. So, what other things are there? Completely you tell. Only dorsiflexion, and then
Dorsiflexion of great toe
suppose
and
the market,
spinal cord.
there is a severe plantar is there. How will you assess? One dorsiflexion. Next is dorsiflexion at the ankle. Then flexion at the knee. Then flexion at the hip. And then tensor fasciolata contraction. Prida.
Okay, sir.
Dorsiflexion great toe, dorsiflexion foot, ankle, and then flexion of the knee, flexion of the hip, and then
Yes, sir.
contraction of the tensor fasciolata.
Okay, sir.
இதெல்லாம் வரணும். சப்போஸ் நீங்க பார்க்கும்போது சந்தேகமா இருந்தனா அங்கெல்லாம் பார்க்கலாம். சரியா? இதெல்லாம் வந்ததுனா that is an extensive plantar present. Extensive plantar is there, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So அது மாதிரி எது மாதிரி பண்ணணும்ங்கிறதும் இருக்கு. கரெக்டா லேட்டரல் அதை பார்க்கணும். ஒரு வாட்டி வந்தீங்கன்னா வந்து பாத்துருங்க. சரியா? ரைட். ஓகே. What is the equivocal Babinski?
No idea, sir.
So equivocal Babinskiங்கிறது வந்து சார் brief extension. First toesலாம் extension ஆயிடும். அப்புறம் அந்த flexion ஆயிடும். Brief extension of the toes at first வந்துரும். Followed by flexion. அப்படி டக்குனு அப்படி flexion ஆயிடும். பட் இதுல அப்படி போட்டினா அழகா எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் போயிட்டு இருக்கும். அதுல வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் அந்த எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் போயிட்டு வரும். இன்னொன்று வந்து என்னன்னா எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் ஆஃப் த கிரேட் டோ ஆர் எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் ஆஃப் த கிரேட் டோ வித் ஃபிளெக்ஷன் ஆஃப் த ஸ்மால் டோஸ் இன்னொன்று இருக்கும். ஸோ யூஸ்வலாக அதில் என்ன அதில் என்ன சொன்னோம், த டார்சிஃபிளெக்ஷன் ஆஃப் த கிரேட் டோ அலாங் வித் எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் ஃபேனிங் ஆஃப் அதர் டோஸ் இருக்கும்னு சொன்னோம் இல்லையா? நார்மல் பிளான்டர்ல இதுல என்னவும் டார்சிஃபிளெக்ஷன் ஆஃப் த எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் ஆஃப் த கிரேட் டோ ஆர் ஒன்று இருக்கும், அல்லது எக்ஸ்டென்ஷன் ஆஃப் த கிரேட் டோ வித் ஃபிளெக்ஷன் ஆஃப் த ஸ்மால் டோஸ் மட்டும் இருக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கும். சரிங்களா? அது மாதிரி இருக்கலாம். ஸோ இன்னொன்று வந்து தேர் கேன் பி ஃபிளெக்ஷன் ஆஃப் த நீ அண்ட் ஹிப் வித்தவுட் மூவ்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் த டோஸ். சப்போஸ் என்ன நீங்க அங்க பாப்பீங்க, பட் என்ன பண்ணுவாரு, நீயை மட்டும் ஃபிளெக்ஸ் பண்ணுவாரு, ஹிப்பை மட்டும் ஃபிளெக்ஸ் பண்ணுவாரு. அப்படி பண்ணா தட் இஸ் an equivocal Babinski அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு சொல்றாங்க. You understand now concept now? It is not a classical Babinski, but it's an equivocal more or less. ஹிப் ஃபிளெக்ஷன் நீங்க பிளான்டரை தரும்போது ஹிப்பை ஃபிளெக்ஷன் பண்றாரு, நீயை ஃபிளெக்ஷன் பண்றாரு, பட் டோல ஒரு மூவ்மெண்ட்டுமே இல்ல அப்படின்னா கூட அது ஒரு equivocal Babinski தான். ஓகேவா? ஸோ அப்படி இருக்கலாம், அல்லது வெறும் டோ மட்டுமே வரலாம், அல்லது வெறும் டோ அண்ட் அதர் ஃபிங்கர்ஸ் கோயிங் டவுன், அது மாதிரி இருந்தாலும் தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ equivocal Babinski. What is minimal plantar response?
Partial.
Nothing, no movement at all. No movement at all. Only tensor fasciolator and adductor of the thigh will become into force. Adductors டக்குன்னு கால் என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, உள்ள தள்ளுற மாதிரி இருக்கும். அண்ட் டென்சர் ஃபேஷியலேட்டர் கண்ட்ராக்ஷன் கை வச்சு பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தொடையில கை வச்சு பார்த்தா டென்சர் ஃபேஷியலேட்டர் கண்ட்ராக்ஷனை பார்க்கலாம். அண்ட் நோ மூவ்மெண்ட் இருக்கவே இருக்காது. சரியா? தட் இஸ் the so you must read this very clearly. So that plantar reflex they will ask you extensively. You must read that very carefully and very important also. ஓகேவா? அதே மாதிரி அப்டாமினல் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸஸ் என்ன பார்க்கணும்?
Abdominal contraction.
எப்படி பார்ப்பீங்க அப்டாமினல் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸஸ்?
Lateral side we have to scratch with a blunt object or a slight sharp object so that
okay
abdominal muscle
are you going
contraction.
from lateral to the medial or medial to lateral?
Lateral to medial.
Lateral to medial. Excellent. So in upper motor neuron lesion, how is the abdominal reflex will be?
Sudden, sir. It will be exaggerated.
Oh, it will be exaggerated or absent. For you it will be present or absent?
It is diminished, sir.
It is diminished. How, see, for you mean not for any normal person. The stroke along the abdomen, what will happen to the abdomen? It will be present.
Okay, sir.
Isn't it? In upper motor neuron lesion, all the superficial reflex will be in the other side. So it will be present or absent? It will be absent on the side of the lesion. Diminished என்ற வார்த்தை வரக்கூடாது. What do you mean by diminished? ஒன்று இருக்கும் இல்லைனா இருக்காது. ஆப்சன்ட் போடணும், ப்ரெசன்ட் போடணும், டிமினிஷன் போடக்கூடாது அதில். சரியா?
Okay. Okay, sir.
ட்ரிமாட்டிக் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் கூட ஆப்சன்ட் இருக்கும் இல்லைன்னு இருக்கும், அவ்வளோதான். டிமினிஷன்ற வார்த்தை வேண்டாம். ரைட், ஓகே. அப்புறம் டீப் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸஸ்
Biceps, triceps.
கிரேடிங் என்னப்பா? ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் கிரேடிங் என்ன?
தெரியல
நீ
சார்.
டிமினிஷன் போட்டிருக்க. டிமினிஷ் போடக்கூடாது.
ஓகே
என்ன
சார்.
போடணும்? வாட் இஸ்
ஆப்சென்ட்
கிரேட் தி
வந்து
ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ்? ஆப்சென்ட் கிரேட் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் இருக்குல்ல, கிரேடிங் ஆஃப் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் இருக்கு தெரியுமா? +1
தெரியாது.
+2 +லாம் இருக்கு தெரியுமா? தெரியுமா தெரியாதா?
தெரியாது சார்.
பாத்துக்கணும். டிமினிஷன்
ஓகே.
போடக்கூடாது. ஓகேவா?
ஓகே சார்.
That also you
ஓகே.
must know. Right, okay, next one. Next slide.
Gain.
So your right side it is diminished. Why it is diminished on the right side?
Right side it is hemiparesis, sir.
So in hemiparesis you expect the
Yes, sir.
reflex to be increased and
It
diminished.
has to be exaggerated, sir. But
Okay.
it is spinal shock, so muscle tone and reflexes are now
Very good,
diminished.
very good.
So
you must know the grading of reflex is very important. Grading of reflex is another first one the zero one the absent reflex. One
Okay,
the present like an ankle jerk. 2 brisk, that is 2+, that is a knee jerk. Exaggerated 3+, and then grade 4 is a clonus. What is a clonus?
Sustained contraction.
Sustained contraction. Clonus இருக்குன்னா ரொம்ப சிவியரா இருக்குன்னு அர்த்தம். சரியா? சஸ்டைன்டு கன்ட்ராக்ஷன் 3 டைம்ஸ் நீங்க பண்ணீங்கன்னா அப்படியே நின்னுடும். அதுக்கப்புறம் ஃபார் எக்ஸாம்பிள் உங்க டோ பிளான்டார் வச்சுட்டு ஒரு ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணீங்க அப்படின்னா ஒரு 3 வாட்டி ஜெர்க் கொடுக்கும். 3 வாட்டி ஜெர்க் கொடுத்து நிக்காம தொடர்ந்து பண்ணிட்டே இருந்தா தட் பிகம் clonus. அதே மாதிரி நீலையும் பண்ணுவாங்க. நீ clonus பண்ணுவாங்க இல்லையா? நீலையை வச்சுட்டு ஒரு தள்ளுனீங்கன்னா பிளான்ட் இது நம்ம பெட்டலா கீழே தள்ளினா பெட்டலார் clonusன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. ஸோ யூ ஜஸ்ட் புஷ் இட் டவுன் 1 or 2, அது after that it will stop. After that continuous for more than 3 it becomes a clonus மாதிரி ஃபார்ம் ஆயிடும். சரியா? That is very important. Clonus is also very very important, that you must understand. Okay. What is Gendrasix maneuver?
sir,
Gendrasix maneuver.
yes, don't know, sir.
Gendrasix maneuver அப்படின்னா you want to yes
The fingers are clenched, opposing.
இல்ல அது வந்து வேற. அது வேற ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ். ஈக்குவலன்ட், தட் இஸ் ஹாஃப்மேன்ஸ் அண்ட் வாட்டர் பேங்க் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் நீங்க சொல்றது. இது சப்போஸ் பேஷண்ட் வந்து ரொம்ப கான்சியஸா இருக்காரு வச்சுக்கோங்களேன், உங்களை நீங்க பண்றதெல்லாம் அவர் பிளண்ட் பண்ணிடுவாரு. ஸோ அதனால அவர் டைவர்ட் பண்றதுக்காக என்ன பண்ணலாம்னா கையை பிடிச்சி நல்லா பண்ணுங்க, அழுத்தி கையை 2 கையும் பிடிச்சி இழுத்து வச்சுக்கோங்க, பல்ல கடிங்க, சரியா? ஒரு பிஸ்ட் கையில ஒரு பிஸ்ட் மாதிரி உண்டாக்குங்க அப்படின்னு நீங்க சொன்னீங்கன்னா அட்டென்ஷன் டைவர்ட் ஆகும். ஸோ அப்படி அட்டென்ஷன் டைவர்ட் ஆச்சுன்னா அந்த மெனவருக்கு பேரு Gendrasix maneuver அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு பேரு. ஓகே, just maybe applied next patient interlocks the finger of both hand together and try to push them against the resistance. போட்டு கையை பிடிச்சி இழுத்து டைட்டா பிடிச்சி இழுத்து that is Gendrasix. So only to deviate the patient from his conscious level. I mean, right. Okay. Next one.
Sensory system. Superficial and deep
If it is
sensory.
normal, just leave it. Okay. Sensory system normal. Next. ரொம்ப டைம் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. சரியா? 10 ஆயிடுச்சு பாவம். எல்லாம் சாப்பிடணும். அடுத்து நெக்ஸ்ட்.
ANS no.
Cerebellar is normal, isn't it? Cerebellar
Yes,
normal.
sir.
Okay. Right. Okay. Next.
Other systems is also normal. And
Okay.
clinical
Other system is
diagnosis.
normal. That is especially in hemiplegia, they will ask about the heart. சரியா? ஹார்ட் கேட்பாங்க கண்டிப்பா. ஏன்னா இப்போ ஏட்ரியல் ஃபிப்ரிலேஷன், மைட்ரல் ஸ்டெனோசிஸ் இருந்ததா, ஏட்ரியல் ஃபிப்ரிலேஷன் இருந்ததா, அங்க த்ராம்பஸ் இருந்துச்சா அப்படின்னு ஒரு கேள்வி கேட்பாங்க. அதனால ஹார்ட் ரொம்ப கேர்ஃபுல்லா பாத்துக்கணும். ரைட். நெக்ஸ்ட்.
So the clinical diagnosis, a case of right-sided hemiparesis associated with right-sided upper motor neuron type of facial palsy and motor aphasia, probably a thrombotic stroke in the left middle cerebral artery involving the internal capsule of left hemisphere, with the risk factors of stroke being diabetes mellitus, hypertension, dyslipidemia, and smoking history.
So I am saying it is a hemorrhage.
Okay, sir.
I am saying it's a hemorrhage. You are saying thrombus. நான் hemorrhageன்றேன். எப்படி இல்லைன்னு சொல்லுவீங்க? கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க சார், கிளாஸ் இருக்கு. சொல்லுங்க.
Hemorrhage na intracranial tension will be increased, sir.
ஒன்று வந்து அக்யூட் ஆன்செட், ஆக்டிவிட்டியில் இருந்திருக்கலாம், சிவியர் ஹெட்ஏக் இருக்கும். சரியா?
Yes, sir.
The sudden loss of consciousness also can be there. Throbbing headache will be there. So இதெல்லாம் வந்து ஹெமரேஜ்ல வந்து ரொம்ப ரொம்ப காமன். ஹைப்பர் டென்ஷன் பாசிபிலிட்டி, ஹைப்பர் டென்ஷன் இருந்திருக்கலாம். ஹைப்பர் டென்ஷன் ஹை பிபி இருந்திருக்கலாம். என்னப்பா?
Cushing's reflex.
வெரி 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 சிவியர் கேசஸ்ல குஷன் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் வரலாம். ஈவன் மேசிவ் த்ராம்பஸ்ல கூட உங்களுக்கு குஷன் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸ் வரலாம், வரக்கூடாதுன்னு கிடையாது. இட்ஸ் ஐசிடி சைன் தானே குஷன் ரிஃப்ளெக்ஸஸ் இல்லையா? பெரிய ஒரு த்ராம்பஸ் அடிச்சதுன்னா என்ன ஆகும்? அப்ப சைடு பிரெயின்ல ஒரு பக்கத்துல இருந்து மிட் லைன் ஷிஃப்ட்லாம் போச்சு அப்படின்னா இட் கேன் ஈஸிலி ப்ரொடியூஸ் தட் ஆல்சோ. ஸோ அதை வச்சு சொல்ல முடியாது. பட் இதெல்லாம் ஒரு கிளினிக்கல் சிம்டம்ஸ் வச்சு தான் நம்ம சொல்ல முடியும் மோஸ்ட்லி ஹெமரேஜ். இப்போ கிளினிக்கல் டயக்னோசிஸ்க்காக சொல்கிறேன். சிம்டம்ஸ் வைஸ் ஹெட் சிவியர் த்ராபிங் ஹெட் ஏக், சடன் ஆன்செட்டு, சடன் ஃபால், இது மாதிரி ஏதாவது இருந்ததுன்னா தென் யூ கேன் திங்க் இட் ஆஃப் பாசிபிலிட்டி ஃபார் ஹெமரேஜ் இஸ் பாசிபிள். என்னப்பா?
ஒன்றும் இல்லை சார்.
ஓகே.
Sir, is there
லெஃப்ட்
can be
மிடில்
gaze
செரிப்ரல்.
palsy, sir?
என்னப்பா கேஸ் பால்சி ஆல்சோ யூ கேன் ஃபைண்ட் இட் அவுட். கேஸ் பால்சியும் கஷ்டம், நீங்க சொல்ல முடியாது. எங்க லீஷன் இருக்குன்னு தான் சொல்லாமே தவிர அது த்ராம்பஸஸா ஹெமரேஜான்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. யூ கேன் சே சுப்ராடென்டரியல் இன்ஃப்ராடென்டரியல் நம்ம சொல்லலாம், ரைட் சைடு டுவர்ட்ஸ் த லீஷன் சொல்லுவாங்க. அது மாதிரி தான் சொல்லாமே தவிர கேஸ் பால்சியை. பட் அது த்ராம்பஸஸ் இருக்கா இல்ல ஹெமரேஜ் இருக்கான்னா நம்ம சிடி ஸ்கேன் இது மாதிரி வச்சு தான் நம்ம பார்த்து சொல்ல முடியும். அதர்வைஸ் இட்ஸ் வெரி டிஃபிகல்ட் டு சே.
Okay, sir.
Right. So the left middle cerebral artery யார் சொல்றீங்கன்னா you are because right so right side involved with involved ipsilateral strokeங்கிறதுனால you are saying left middle cerebral artery probably involving the internal capsule. அது கூட சொல்லணும். Clinical diagnosis. Okay. Full diagnosis pa internal capsule left hemisphere probably involving which artery? Probably middle cerebral artery. இது வந்து lenticular state branch தான் இருக்கும் most probably because it's a typical case.
Internal capsule.
Lenticular state branch of the left middle cerebral artery தான் நீங்க சொல்லணும். ரைட், ஓகேப்பா. ரைட், ஓகே. நெக்ஸ்ட் முடிச்சிடு.
Investigations, treatment.
முக்கியமா அது வந்து blood sugar fasting கொஸ்டின் நல்லா இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும். இருக்கு லிபிட் ப்ரொஃபைல் நல்லா இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும். வா மேல போ, இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் முடி, இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் அடுத்த முன்னாடி ஸ்லைட். எஸ், லிபிட் ப்ரொஃபைல் நல்லா இருக்கா பார்க்கணும். இசிஜில என்ன ஏட்ரியல் ஃபிப்ரிலேஷன் இருக்கான்னு பார்க்கணும். அப்புறம் நான் கான்ட்ராஸ்ட் எடுத்தோன்னா சிடி பண்றது பெட்டர். ஓகே. 4 வெசல் டாப்லர் பாருங்க, கரோட்டிட் பார்க்கலாம். ஏன்னா அங்க இருந்து ஏதாவது த்ராம்பஸ் போயிருக்கான்னு பார்க்கிறதுக்காக கரோட்டிட் டாப்லர் பண்ணி பார்க்கலாம். அப்புறம் நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைடு. நெக்ஸ்ட் ஸ்லைட் பா.
Treatment, sir.
ஸோ இட்ஸ் ஓகே, குட். ஸோ இதுல முக்கியமா வந்து பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ஆஃப் ஹெமிப்ளீசியால வந்து தெராபெட்டிக் மெடிக்கல் ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் ஒண்ணு, இன்னொன்று முக்கியமானது என்னது? ரீஹாபிலிட்டேஷன் தெரப்பி, பிசியோதெரப்பி, பெட் சோர்ஸ். வெரி குட். நான் இதுதான் முக்கியமான தெரப்பி. நீங்க மாத்திரை கொடுக்கறத விட பெட் சோர் வராம பார்க்கணும், பிசியோதெரப்பி வராம பார்க்கணும், ரீஹாபிலிட்டேஷன் தெரப்பி பார்க்கணும், ஆன்டிபிளேட்லெட்ஸ்ல பார்க்கணும். இல்லையா? ஆன்டிபிளேட்லெட்ஸ்ல வந்து அஸ்பிரின் வந்து கொடுக்குறீங்க, அதுக்கப்புறம் அது கொடுக்குறீங்க. அப்புறம் சப்போஸ் ஆன்டி எடிமா மெஷர்ஸ் இருந்தா என்ன கொடுக்கலாம்? எடிமா இருந்ததுன்னா என்ன கொடுக்கலாம்? ஆன்டி எடிமா மெஷர்ஸ் என்ன கொடுப்பீங்க? give mannitol, can give oral glycerol, mannitol கொடுக்கலாம், glycerol கொடுக்கலாம். சரியா? ஆன்டி எடிமா மெஷர்ஸ். சப்போஸ் அன்கான்சியஸா இருக்காரு அப்படின்னா ஒரு எடிமா இருந்ததுன்னா யூ கேன் கோ ஃபார் அது மாதிரி கொடுத்துக்கலாம். தென் ஆன்டிபிளேட்லெட் போட்டீங்க. ஆன்டி லைப்பமிக் போடலையே
சார்,
பேஷண்ட் டிஸ்லைப்பிட்டீங்கல்ல,
அது ஆல்ரெடி பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காரு சார்.
ஆல்ரெடி எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கறனால அப்படியே ஆட் பண்ணி கொடுத்துறீங்க. ஓகே, வெரி குட். ஓகே சரிப்பா. ரைட். ஐ திங்க் கெட்டிங் லேட் ஆல்சோ 10:20 ஆயிடுது. சரி, முடிச்சிடலாம். ரைட்டா?
ஓகே சார், தேங்க் யூ.
ரைட். இதுல வந்து முக்கியமா நீங்க தெரிஞ்சுக்க வேண்டியது வந்து 4 விஷயம் தான். நான் ஒரு திருப்பி தெரிஞ்சுக்கங்க. இஎம்என் லீஷன்னா என்ன, எல்எம்என் லீஷன். இஎம்என் லீஷனை போட்டு குழப்பிக்க வேண்டாம். இஎம்என் லீஷன் ஃபார் த ஸ்பைனோமோட்டார், இஎம்என் லீஷன் ஃபார் த கிரேனியல் நர்வ். அதை பார்த்துக்கணும். இஎம்என் எல்எம்என் ஆஃப் கிரேனியல் நர்வ்ஸ் எப்படி இருக்கும், இஎம்என் எல்எம்என் ஆஃப் ஸ்பைனல் மோட்டார் எப்படி இருக்கும். ஒன்னு. ரெண்டாவது, so if the cranial nerve is involved, where is the lesion? The cranial nerve is not involved, where is the lesion? அடுத்தது, டோன் எப்படி இருக்குன்னு பாருங்க. ஹைப்போடோனியா இருக்கு, ப்ராக்சிமல் இருக்கா, டிஸ்டல் இருக்கா, வீக்னஸ் இருக்கான்னு பாருங்க. வீக்னஸ் இருந்ததுனாவே மோஸ்ட் ப்ராபப்லி இட் கோஸ் இன்டு ஃபார்ம் ஆஃப் லோயர் மோட்டார் நியூரான் லீஷன் போயிடும். சிரிங்ஸ், மோட்டார் நியூரான் டிசீஸ், செர்விக்கல் கம்ப்ரெஷன் மைலோபதி. ஸோ இது மாதிரி ஏதாவது இருக்கான்னு நம்ம பார்க்க ஆரம்பிக்கலாம். ஸோ எங்க இருக்குன்னு நீங்க கண்டுபிடிக்கணும், அதுக்கப்புறம் என்ன காரணம்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கணும், அதுக்கப்புறம் எதுனால இது வந்ததுன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கணும். ஸோ இந்த 3 விஷயத்தை தான் கண்டுபிடிக்க தான் சென்ட்ரல் நர்வஸ் சிஸ்டம். ஓகே, சரி, ஓகே. எனி क्वेश्चंस யூ கேன் ஆஸ்க்?
No, sir.
ஓகே,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
தேங்க் யூ.